And then you grab my nipples. Eat them.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of digging this.
Silence, wench.
Swagger in the twilight dawn. Each wood iron, each thought steel. To be heard is the final deal. Howling offense in the midnight haze. Everybody's offended, each one sways. We're offended, you're offended, that's the way. Claim the night with the things we say. Truths clash like broken dreams. Voice to voice, let it scream. What's real in this foggy light? Bow hard till the morning light. Feel the hunger of the crowd. Anxious to erupt so loud. Unity in discord side. Witness as their worlds collide. Howling up the haze. Everybody's offended, each one sways. We're offended, you're offended, that's the way. Claim the night with the things we say.
Beta.
Truths clash like broken dreams. Raise your voice, let it scream. What's real in this foggy light? Battle hard till the morning light. Feel the hunger of the crowd. Anxious to erupt so loud. Unity in discord's tide. Witness as their worlds collide. Howling offense in the midnight haze. Everybody's offended, each one sways. We're offended, you're offended, that's the way. Claim the night with the things we say. We say. We say. We say. Voice we say. Voice we say.
My mother kicked one of my fucking temples.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
I'm muted.
Welcome to We're Offended, You're Offended. I'm Kim. This is Tyler. I don't know why I got confused for a second there. And it is Saturday.
Why are you in a
Hope everyone's had
spaceship?
Because I'm looking down on the woke ass world, and it's a scary place. It was just so woke, I had to be like, peace, and I'm out. Now I just look down on it.
I didn't know you were
Anyway.
black. I thought I. Never mind.
I know where you're going with that one. Anyway, the saying is
I
not
thought I
true.
banged it out of you.
Hope everyone's had a fantastic week so far. If you are new here, hi, hello, welcome. Don't forget to hit the little subscribe button down below. Like us, share us, all that fun little stuff. It really helps us out. And thank you for clicking on that little button to come sit with us and listen to the craziness going on in the world today. If you were here for when we were going pre-live, seriously,
I don't know what she's saying. But we do have, so today, of course, Saturday, with it being Saturday, is the live call-in show. What do you guys want to
hear
talk
you.
about? No, mute. Silencio. Silencio.
I cannot be silenced.
You literally can't. You dick! Stop it. So yeah, we will be talking about JD Vance is blaming immigration for the reason why Canada is falling so far behind, why we are stagnating. So we will get into that, and we will get into some of the numbers and the gaslighting that that media is now pushing. Yeah, we'll talk about that, and God, who knows what else. I know
All the things.
I know
All the
Bill
things.
C9, the online harm bill, has been resurrected and coming back with a vengeance. A vengeance.
God dang it.
Oh. There's a convoy. There's a convoy.
What?
There's a great big convoy running through the night.
Going west at Manitoba Saskatchewan border an hour ago. For what? What is this convoy for? I need to know what's happening.
What? So
How
convoy?
is this the first time we're hearing about this?
That is. Is there another convoy headed to Ottawa? Convoy truckers protesting. No, that was back in 2023. Canada convoy
Are you sure?
has been encouraging protesters to form them around public schools in Ottawa. What? Joel Harden is okay. So this, I have a real hard time believing anything Joel Harden has to say, considering his last name is first Harden, and he's gay. I don't know if he's gay.
Wow, wow.
He might be, but if he isn't, then he is appropriating gay culture because he looks like one.
Oh my god.
No, I haven't seen anything about it, but if you have anything that you want to share, you're more than welcome to. So yeah, we will be talking about that and much more, much more. Things
Much,
will be
much more.
conversed. Shh.
How can we dash when our earth is turning?
They don't produce anything. They don't do anything.
How do we sleep while our beds are burning? How can we dance when our earth is turning?
I saved you. You have no idea, but I saved all of you. Ew. You're so gross. You're welcome.
You're welcome. All right, so let's just get right into this one. Let's see. Buck Carney and Canadian flags driving now. So, of course, like I said, at the pinned of our YouTube comment and on Rumble is the StreamYard link. So if you wish to join, you know, what's going on.
Did you put it on X?
Did I what?
Did you put it on X?
No. Do I
Go to
look gay?
It doesn't even make any sense.
I know it doesn't. I like to think it does, but
You're wrong. I'll put it to X, seeing as how you didn't. Because I can.
I don't JT, I know you think that we're not, but we're perpetually are. We're liberals.
I'm center. I don't know about you. I straddle that pole.
I am very much offended. I just bitch and complain. I don't have solutions to anything because if I did, then it'd actually be taken more seriously. Like we would actually be taken seriously. But all right, let's get right into this. No, that's the wrong one. Activate. There we go. I'm not giving MSNBC any credit, even though this is an article from MSNBC. JD Vance blames immigration for Canada's stagnating living standards. U.S. Vice President, sorry. Ooh. JD Vance, gorgeous eyes. That son of a bitch. God, does he have dreamy eyes? Am I crazy? Have you guys ever looked at JD Vance's eyes? It's like they pull you in. They feel like they're looking not in you or not at you, but in you. And I want.
Why are you gay?
Me. Okay.
No, I don't. I'm sorry. I haven't looked that closely at JD Vance's
You
eyes.
haven't seen JD Vance's eyes?
I don't follow you on the weird.
No. You've never looked at.
No, I have not.
Look at this handsome son of a bitch. Look at come on. He has smiles.
Okay, well he
smiles.
does have smiles. I will say that for sure.
Yeah.
But
100%.
I don't know. I don't see the dreaminess, I guess. I don't like I don't
Come
can't even
on,
tell what color his eyes are in that picture.
How do I zoom in?
I don't know. Have a better picture?
I can't
Oh
anymore.
my god.
Whatever. Okay, we're a serious news outlet. Apparently.
not.
Fuck, wrong one. There we go.
Well, thankfully it wasn't the really wrong
one. Yeah, so made a series of posts criticizing Canada's political leadership, public broadcaster, and immigration system, saying our living standards are stagnating because of all the foreign-born people living here. In post to his X account on Friday, Vance says Canada's elected leaders have created immigration insanity by leaning into diversity. While I'm sure the causes are complicated, no nation has leaned more into diversity is our strength. We don't need a melting pot. We have a salad bowl. Immigration insanity than Canada. The post includes a chart from IceCap Asset Management in Halifax that shows the growth in living standards of Canada, the UK, and the US from the beginning of 2016 to the present. One of IceCap Asset Management financial analysts, Richard Diaz, added a one-word comment to the post saying that he agreed. The chart shows the change in the GDP per person in each country through the standard of living is generally tracked using a wider range of data. Blah, 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 blah. CBC News has written to the company to ask for more detailed information regarding whether GDP per person is the only metric the firm uses to determine a standard of living. Vance also said that any suggestion that Canada's current living standards are the fault of the U.S. trade and economic policy is patently false. With all due respect to my Canadian friends, we're his friends, whose politics focus obsessively on the United States, your stagnating living standards have nothing to do with Donald Trump or whatever boogeyman the CBC tells you to blame. The fault lies with your leadership elected by you, based. The government under former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau had begun cutting immigration after it rapidly increased during the post-pandemic labor shortage. We can get into the whole discussion with regards to the labor shortage. Basically, JD Vance is lying according to the media. He's only looking at one metric. Well, okay, how about you try this one on for size, CBC? Canada's standard of living is declining, marked by a significant drop in GDP per capita despite overall economic growth. From 2020 to 2024, GDP per person fell by 2%, representing the worst 5-year decline since when? Take a guess. Since when?
I'm sorry, are you talking? I got pulled into JD Vance's eyes.
I told you, fucking dreamy as shit.
They really are.
Told you.
Now that I've looked at it, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know his eyes are like a weird blue, but they're I'd gay for him.
They pull you in. I don't even know what you just said a minute ago.
So Canada has experienced the worst economic growth since the Great Depression. We are in Great Depression performance right now. The poorest performance among OECD continues during the period. This decline occurred even as aggregate GDP grew by 1.5% over the same time frame, highlighting a critical disconnect between national economic output and individual prosperity. The primary drivers are weak business investment and a sharp decline in the capital to labor ratio, meaning workers have less machinery and equipment to work with, which reduces productivity. This trend is exacerbated by historically high levels of immigration, which have rapidly increased the population, growing by 3.2% in 2023 alone, outpacing economic growth and diluting per person income. We could keep going. There's so much more. Well, you know what? This is actually a note that we've talked about many times before. Canada now lags behind its peers in the OECD, particularly the US, in terms of real GDP per capita growth, with the OECD projecting Canada will rank last among member countries in per capita growth out to 2060. So we've talked about this ranking that out of 40 nations, Canada is going to be dead last. We are not even part of the G7. We are not a part of the G5. We are maybe licking the nutsack of the G10. This is how poorly performing Canada has become.
Sweaty too.
Our standard of living has fallen. Our corruption index has increased, or should I say, has fallen. Corruption has gotten worse within Canada, has not gotten better. People's overall standard of living has improved. We've seen record high unemployment, record high food bank usage, record high housing markets, record high decrease, or should I even say decrease? The standard or people's income aren't matching the price or the rate of inflation. So while they say Canada's GDP, Yeah, and in all the wrong metrics. Only thing that the liberals care about and what liberals in general care about literally is GDP go up, mean good. That's it. It doesn't has nothing to do with cultural influence. It has nothing to do with hegemony. It has nothing to do with overall prosperity. Whether people are doing better, they don't give a shit. Drug use is up, suicide is up. MAID has expanded, another
Ugh.
setting records again, becoming the main reason why people die. In fact, they've had to now hide how often people are opting to opt out. They've now used um the reason. So instead of saying MAID, which is what they used to, now they hide it behind depression, anxiety. That's where they're hiding the statistics. So that's where it becomes really pervasive and really disgusting because they know it's happening. And the fact that we can't actually look up the normal stats and actually find actual information, that is where people now they see something and they go, that doesn't make sense. Why does my paycheck feel like buys so much less? And when you see people are showing
Crazy deals.
your shopping cart, you have 5 items in it and it costs you $150 for bread, milk, and cheese or whatever, just your basic staples.
Yep.
People are going, wow, this really sucks. And the government and all these high fluent and ignorant, I'm trying not to swear right now, sit there and go, Canada's doing better than ever. Look at
Right.
you got your $10 daycare, you got the National Food Schools food program, even though the kids are getting a granola bar and a rotten fucking apple, but we're feeding them. Would you rather nothing? No, I'd rather nothing than a rotten apple. Call me crazy.
Crazy.
Like the United States has a national food program and an actual food program where kids from elementary all the way to 12 actually have actual meals, whether it's breakfast, like, oatmeal or cereals or whatever, something that actually helps. But Canada, we go, here's a granola bar and a rotten apple, have fun. That's where Canada is actually sitting.
I don't know about you, but it sounds delicious. Rotten
Yeah, if
apple.
you're poor, I suppose.
Yum.
You're
Mm.
absolute destitute. We see people's optimism in Canada is falling. I don't know, like I see it's funny when you look at like liberal sided polls like Tyvee or you know I can't think of other ones. I'm sure we've all seen the stats where they say Canada ranks the number one place in the world according to who? Well, these very select few people that hold positions of power and actually aren't impacted by the decisions that are made. Oh, well, yeah, of course for them. Like we asked 5 CEOs is how big how good is their fucking their profit margins. Well, it's great. Bannock based. I love Bannock. I won't spoil it. I won't spoil it for you guys. I won't spoil it for you. But Bannock is good. So when JD Vance pulls something like this, or I shouldn't say pull something, just says something, and you see immediately the media has to, well, did they actually look at the stats, or is he just fomenting things? So, well, did he actually look at the stats? He said, no, I'm sure there's a lot more nuance, but mass immigration has absolutely denigrated people's quality of life. In fact, so much so that even the immigrants that are coming here are now leaving, saying this place sucks. So while it is harder for you to make ends meet, while we give everyone in Canada, or sorry, let me rephrase that. While we give everyone outside of Canada a passport, giving them birthright citizenship, giving them citizenship, even though they never even actually lived here, we've cheapened our identity to the point where, let's be real, the people that are best suited for being a dig ditcher is what comes into Canada. People that are sub 100 IQ, that's who we've decided to import and said we need high skilled labor jobs. Well, last I checked, working at fucking Circle K isn't exactly the epitome of technical skill.
What are you talking about?
The,
Running a convenience store is so technical.
yeah, tell that to Apu.
I would if I could.
Yeah, they canceled
They
him. They
out,
canceled him.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they killed him because his voice actor was actually white. What's going
But
on? Magnus. Oh, that's sweet. Magnus Venson based. Magnus. I like that name. Magnus is a strong name. Strong. So I I wish that Canada would actually take this stuff seriously. And the amount of gaslighting that I think that's what bothers me the most is people are saying your serfs are saying, "Hey, my lord, the fields are dry. There's no food, sire. What do I to do?" And they go, "Oh, you fool plebs! What the fuck do you know? Look at my glorious banquet of exotic meats and cheeses, the finest wines of the world." And we're going, "But sir, we can't afford to mill the grain." And they go, "Oh, be gone, peasant." Swedish. Yeah.
Please, sir, I want some more.
Not wrong.
seems perfect.
So this is what we are seeing. Trust me, in my own industry, we are seeing that we are having to tighten more and more in order to feed Canada. There are more stringent demands. People have to cut more and more. There's basically no more fat to be cut. We're now cutting into muscle. You know what I'm saying?
I do know what you're saying. I still got a bit that they can cut, but
That's what's actually happening here. We see mass imports, as JD Vance said. I don't know what you hedge. I don't know. Now I barely speak English, let alone anything else, and that's a struggle most days.
facts.
So we've decided to increase Canada's population, which of course drives the speculation of the 100 million people by 2021. We are replacing our population. Canada is not we're not literally not replacing our own culture. We are having to import it. And because taxes are so high, people are being so indentured. Our biggest expense is now government. Has not it's not family, it's not housing, it's government is the biggest expense. Like, let's put it this way. Canada people at home in Canada are struggling. Like, as I said, 25% of people have used the food bank. 25%. That has caused such a massive strain on donations on these organizations that are trying to help people. So while you are going without, while you are losing, while you are incapable of actually being able to feed your children, clothe them, and house them, the government says, let's give millions, hundreds of millions, nay, billions of dollars to other countries to feed them. While you go without, while your children starve, while their education falls apart, while your infrastructure fucking crumbles. And they go, but look, we got to help those people.
Because that's what's literally giving them uh recognition, I guess you could say. It's giving people are looking at them because, oh, Canada's so great, they're helping us. That's all they really care about, is to see their name in lights, quote unquote, as opposed to actually helping people, which should start in your own backyard first and then branch out. But they're too worried about, the perception what they look like to other people.
I don't think it has anything to do with perception. I think it's that they don't care. They will go without. It's easier to chop 1% off a million people than for the government to go without. How am I supposed to afford, beluga caviar? How am I to afford beluga caviar and white truffle if I, I can't? I can't go. I got a
A
real fix
horror.
for it. Yeah, and it's not just avocados. They're from Honduras. They're not from shitty California. They're Honduran avocados, so you know they're good. They are not willing to do without, but yet they demand, and this is why Canada, your shit's so backward. I get so mad with this because like the solution is in front of you. I can't give you a bigger fucking sign. It is the government. It's the government why your shit sucks. It's the government why you're struggling. It's these decisions that have been made. And maybe you guys are too dumb to actually realize that you voting these people isn't the solution. If you seek government for the solution, you'll always see government as the solution. Get these people, these self-centered, these highfalutin, these arrogant, self-serving, corrupt, backstabbing, conniving monsters out of this fucking place. We shouldn't have to worry about taxes. Canada has so much natural resources that the world cares about. But what do?
Agreed.
We sell exploratory and mineral rights to China. As they said, while GDP goes up, Canadians aren't really seeing the. I don't care if people leave. You know what? If you're that dumb, I know you said that I shouldn't call people dumb, but if you're so ignorant, if people are so ignorant, they can't see the man in front of them with a gun in their face saying, "Give me your stuff or else." Some point you deserve it. And it sucks that I have to be stuck on this sinking boat with you.
Why do you always do like do you not have you not seen Wizard of Oz? Have you not seen like pay no attention to the person behind the screen?
Man behind the mirror, I said, "Fuck you, we do it live."
Oh my god. Fine, then I'll just start freaking calling you out in front of everybody instead of
I don't
trying
care.
to
Go for
send
it.
you messages. Freaking bitch.
Go for it. That's fine. That's fine. But I think people really need that wake up. It's not the liberals aren't here to save you. They look at the plumber, the garbage man, the truck driver, the power line technician. They look at you as though you owe them something. They look at the farmer as an expendable asset. You're only as valuable as you are to the state until they deem that you're no longer valuable. Then they throw you away. This is one thing during COVID. They commissioned a study. Aside from the draconian gun grab that they decided to sign into law, the first thing they did when COVID first started, what was their study that they did? How much is a person worth?
Oh my god.
Literally, no joke. And they found that a person is worth about $60,000 a year. So what does that mean? Especially during a pandemic, especially when we're looking at more socialist programs. We've seen that happened in Italy. We've seen that happen in other socialist type of countries. When you have nationalized healthcare, what did we see? Once you reach that $60,000 threshold and you would now cost more, they'll pull you. We've seen that happen in Italy during COVID.
Oh, so at this exact moment, I'm only worth $2.5 million. That's sad.
You're $60,000 a year. But if you start exceeding that, you're no longer valuable. It's easier just to cut you off because it's not like that's $60,000. If you have complications, if you have continued, on care of healthcare, long-term healthcare demands, you're not valuable. You're a drain on the system. You are literally a cancer. You are an inefficiency that needs to be culled.
Wow.
So
It's a little messed up.
that's what happens when you turn people into numbers on an expense form. Hush, puppy. Chinese food for you. You're muted. If you're
I know I'm muted, but I can hear her barking through your mic. So I don't think they want, and I'm trying to tell her to quiet.
Oh.
Oh my God, I heard you. I wonder if it came through on my mic. That'd be funny. Did anyone hear him say what he said?
That'd be pretty sweet. So yeah, this is where Canada is moving. This is what continues to happen. And the more that Canada's whole image is, as long as we're not America, as long as we keep losing in every single trade deal, as long as Canadians, I don't know how much worse it has to get. Like, does it have to be dead bodies starving in the streets? Does it have to be bread lines? At what point do people start to actually wake up? When do people actually care?
When it's them. That's when people actually start to care, when it's them who's being affected. Just like, even think of people from the government that, they will completely disregard everything until they're literally the ones that are, I'm so sorry, guys.
What a I don't know what she's barking at, but
The neighbors.
goddamn foreigners. Oh wait, no, they're on the other side. Never mind.
Yeah, and it's funny. It's the white people. I don't know if that's actually the funny thing or not.
Oh Jesus Christ! Why am I looking at this individual? God damn it! All right, so yeah, we will. What do you guys think with this? With JD Vance calling out Canada, are you guys in support of it? Is it finally the slap in the face that, I don't know, maybe our government needs? What do you think will actually happen with it? Do you think anything will actually happen with it, or is it just Orange Man bad? So
It's always just Orange Man bad. That's the only thing it ever is. Instead of people actually trying to take a look at what the problem is in front of them, they're just so TDS that literally anything that has to do with Orange Man, that's it. That is literally, oh, Trump, it's Trump, it's Trump. Yeah.
how can you look at those eyes on JD Vance and hate him?
Yeah, I don't know. He's like the McDreamy of politics.
Have you ever heard his story, where he comes from?
Never paid attention. No. Did he come with two other beautiful eyed people?
He's like backwoods, no running water hillbilly.
Love it.
Yeah, he started as like it's not like he grew up in money. He was very, very poor.
Hold on. When you say hillbilly, are we talking like
Inbreeders.
like that hillbilly?
Maybe that's why his eyes are so blue.
Gorgeous, darling. Simply gorgeous.
Yeah, Nokian says when it is too late.
Yes.
I hope not. Like the reason why I tend to fight with all these doom pillar people is because if we can't actually have any faith in our system and are willing to, whether we have to reform it or get the people who are abusing it, the worm tongue in the ear, if we can't get those people out of the spot, sorry, I was reading fucking JT and I said spot. If we can't get worm tongue influencing these corrupt politicians, and Canada is worth saving, then I think we need to fight for it. We actually need to get involved. We've had Russell, the Canadian conservative on, and he's fantastic and a really, really insightful and enlightening thinker. And when he had said that liberals engage in democracy, conservatives play democracy.
Yeah, that was
Democracy is
crazy.
dirty. Yeah. That's really sat with me, and that's really had me thinking quite profound in how he's, how that's framed.
Yeah.
Democracy is dirty. It's arguing, it's fighting. It's actually exercising your rights. Which is why look at conservatives. Let's put it this way. The Freedom Convoy was the first time you guys actually instituted and was willing to use your rights. That was the first time. And look at how the government blinked. They crumbled. They blinked first. Right? So,
blink, they ran away.
but they blinked. They made the
Yeah.
move. They couldn't stand there and take the brunt of it because it made them look bad. It made the government look incompetent, made them look weak. So I don't know why conservatives aren't out there every single weekend doing this type of crap. I don't know why. You've seen what actually exercising your rights does. It made the government, it brought them to their knees. It ended the vaccine mandate. It ended all the insanity that was going on here. Ended it. The government tried so hard to make you guys look bad, to make us look bad. But they blinked. Is that Steiner? Why do you look like you're
Yeah, is that Steiner? JL? Is that like the JL?
Hey.
Like, hi! Sorry, I squealed. Wow, you got a squeal out of me. Congratulations.
Only I make her squeal.
Welcome.
You son of a bitch. Ban him. Mods, get him out of here. Just kidding. Well,
Okay,
yeah, so JT says so only the elbow uppers think otherwise. I 100% agree. Because they're not impacted by it. The government's on their side. What did you want to say? Sorry.
So in regards to what oh god. Not ready
That's
for that
next
one
night. Don't look. Okay? Avert
yet. Now
thine
you don't want
eyes.
people to look. Now you don't want people to look. This is the best pause ever, by the way. I'm just saying. This to what Nokian had said earlier. So I was looking it up.
Freedom Convoy that converged in Ottawa back in 2022. Well, there's another convoy taking place this weekend called Farmers Protest Canada. So joining us from the Toronto area is Jim Kerr, who is one of the people involved in this protest. Welcome to Bridge City News, Jim. Great to have you.
Very pink lipstick, by the
Nice to see you.
Okay. What kind of protest is this exactly? When and where is it happening?
It is a grassroots protest if I've ever seen one. And the answer to the next question, where and when it's happening, the 22nd is when it's happening. But where?
Today.
I couldn't tell you. What's happening is that is making their own posters, and they're going from a local city to a neighboring city, and they're doing it all over the country. So it's literally trying to keep up with all the locations.
Yeah, trying to keep up the locations is probably a little challenging. Okay, so with that said, what is it that farmers are protesting about? What are the issues?
Well, first of all, I wouldn't pin it necessarily as the farmers being the core of who attends this. This is anybody who cares about our farms, anybody who ate breakfast this morning, anybody who understands how important it is that farmers are allowed to continue to do their business, as well as farmers. They'll also be included, I'm quite confident. Anybody who is concerned about government overreach right now, those are the ones that are going out on there's going to be slow rolls all over the place, but there's also going to be people gathering on overpasses and in public parks and just basically breaking bread with one another, employing some time together to discuss the issues and figure out what we're going to do about it.
Okay,
What are
well,
the
since you
issues?
said there's little pockets of these happening, I understand that there will be a convoy meeting in High River, Alberta at 10 a.m. Chances are
Mhm.
you won't be there because you're in Ontario, right? So you're doing one in Ontario?
That's
Okay,
correct.
so
Yeah.
the one in High River looks like it's heading right here to
Yeah.
Lethbridge, gathering
Yeah.
outside the Canadian Food Inspection Agency building. So
Mm.
one of the issues that sparked this is the CFIA call order on the ostrich farm near Edgewood, British Columbia. So,
Y-
what changes are farmers looking for
Mhm.
with
Mhm.
the CFIA?
Primarily an outdated policy called a stamping out policy, which was employed about 23 years ago. And basically, what it says is that if some of your herd or flock is sick, be it one or two, they're going to eliminate all of them. They say culling, I say
Yeah.
killing. But what ended up happening was this family didn't want that. This family did not want to cull their birds. They have over 300 healthy ostriches. They ended up fighting the CFIA in court, took them to court as of
I'm just
January this year, and just lost recently.
sorry. I'm just gonna say, if they wanted to keep their birds so badly, then why were they not following the proper procedures and rules
No,
that were put into
we
place?
I think we've already kind of hammered that point, and I think this is important because I agree with him. This is how you make change. This is how you actually impact change. It's not vigilantism. It's not tearing down statues. It's not burning down buildings. It's getting the
Yeah.
legislations changed. So as he said, an old, outdated, antiquated law, which was this is how our food and health or our food is handled. I have no problem if people want to petition the government and say, hey, what happened here was antiquated, was irrational, didn't actually constitute the action that resulted. Now let's make a change. 100% support that. I have absolutely no problem with that whatsoever.
That's fair. We'll watch a little bit more of this. We're not gonna watch the whole thing, obviously, because it's long. But
And then the CFIA came in quite heavy handed with heavy weaponry and ended up opening fire on over 300 ostriches, some of which were left struggling for life in the morning and were beheaded. And it was really just. It was a graphic thing, and we have all the photographs and everything. But the reason we had such a hard time getting the photographs is because the RCMP would not allow any drone footage. They put in no TAM zone over the entire area, so you couldn't fly over to see what's going on. They put up great big hay bales, and then they put up great big spotlights facing away from the hay bales onto the road, so that oncomers couldn't see what was happening. And this call was absolutely disgusting. It got Canadians enraged, and we're talking across the spectrum. This is not red, blue political things. This is people who care about life and see these majestic animals just mowed down against the wishes of supporters that were there for them 8 months. I was on that property for 6 months, living on that property for 6 months, and watched the day in, day out of the emotional
That's
and
why I know
psychological
his
terror
name.
that family was
Okay, I
being
know who
put
he
through
is. Okay.
because of a government agency employed by a world governance structure, which is another story.
Yeah. Yeah, I know we had Katie on our show a few times, and it was really heartbreaking because she said that some of these, I mean, these birds have long lifelines, and a lot of them she grew up with. Some of them were over 20 years old. They all had names.
side note, the way she
Right.
talks. Does anyone else see Stifler's mom? Just saying.
He said they all had personalities. So it wasn't just like, like you say, mowing down a herd of birds. These were actually somebody's livelihood and their pets as well. And as she said, members of their family. So it
MILF,
was
come
really
on.
sad.
She's
And
got that weird
one thing that we had
side
heard
squinty
was that
talk, just
the
like she does.
CFIA had brought in an expert marksman. So that doesn't sound very expert marksman like if some of those birds were still lying there in the morning and had to be as you
The
said,
the
beheaded.
the official count from the CFIA the following day was 314 birds were killed. There was over 900 rounds of ammunition that were set off. So
Jesus.
somehow they were either inaccurate or sadistic. And I tend to go towards the latter. There was absolutely no need for this to go down the way it did. And it was almost like a shot over the bow to regular Canadians going, you're next. You're the ostriches. And it's almost like a desensitizing campaign to make us think that this somehow is okay. And then some people will say, well, they're doing it with chickens and turkeys all the time. I'm not saying that's any better. But when they are 8 foot tall, majestic, noble beings who look at you with a comport of just confidence and curiosity, and then you think of these guys in white suits
Okay.
going in there,
Okay.
they're
All right.
terrorizing them.
I've heard enough. All right. I think I've heard enough. I've heard enough.
Just having a hard time hitting
I
that pause button.
I have no problem, and yeah, so that is going on today. The slow roll, and the funny thing is, why is it like today? Is because farmers finally got their job done. They held up their end of the bargain. So, I hope I have no problem with law and that regulation being changed and actually being able to import that, hey, maybe we should take a more comprehensive look at this. But as we're operating right now, especially with viruses have become more and more deadly. We have chronic wastings disease, which is absolutely decimating the ungulate population within North America. We know more and more that, you know, should we take a harder look at these types of things? I have no problem with that. I have no problem with that. I encourage it. And this is how we do it. We get out there, you get vocal. You write your MPs, you write the shadow minister of agriculture. You talk to those people. You get out there, you get in there. I shouldn't maybe not necessarily get in their face, but you make it known that, hey, where we are going, I don't like it. We are not ruled by autocrats. We are not ruled by technocrats. Canada is not a technocracy, an autocracy. We have no king. We are not feudalism. We are, as the liberals love to espouse, Canada is a democracy. So, if your argument is that you want this policy to change, then all you need do is convince 51% of to oppress the 49. That's how they want it. Yes, we are on Discord.
But we're not in Discord right now.
Oh, no. No.
Yeah. When we're live, we're not in Discord. We do have.
So yeah, so today is the slow roll, is that protest that's going on, as Nokian had shared with us, that as far as I know, it is already taking place, and good. I'm happy to see that people are finally getting pissed off enough that they are actually willing to take action. And it's always the ones that actually do the most, that are doing the actual most, remember during COVID, the whole the essential workers. Well, isn't it funny? All the essential workers was like grocery stores, was, truck drivers, was the lowest, the things that we value, or at least, we look down on in society. But those were the most essential. Literally got hazard pay.
Well, yeah, because they're the ones that are like, too many people don't realize the kind of work that truck drivers did, and even grocery store people. But I mean, the thing is, when the whole freedom convoy hit, I think that's, for me, what a huge part was. Like, I have truckers in my family. You're a trucker. So I've literally grown up around them, and I've seen the way people look at truckers, and the way people started looking at truckers when the freedom convoy hit was how they should be looked at. They're literally, what's the famous saying from Novocaine? Saving the world one truckload at a time.
Good old Paulus. Good old Paulus.
Where you at, Nova?
But this is how you actually affect change, and this is what the left is very good at. The right doesn't have institutional influence. We don't have big back donors. We don't have anything like that. We're just two dopes, you know, sharing our opinions, and maybe, a couple people hear us and some people agree and help make us smarter, and we learn something. We don't have the literal government giving money to institutions where they fund these ideologies or these think tanks that further the liberal message. We don't have anything like that. On the right, we don't have anything. We don't have big backers. We don't have organizations. This is why everyone that's on the right flocked to X, because it was the one spot. The one. Reddit is a shithole. 4chan is full of autists. They're kind of base, but you know,
Okay,
but
hold on.
X.
First,
Mhm.
sorry, hold on. First, JL, if you got something to say, literally click the link that I put in the chat. It's StreamYard. You don't need anything but the internet. And clearly you have the internet because you're talking on it right now. So just click on it and you can come in and talk with us and you can tell us what you got to say. We don't have to be in Discord. This is much easier, actually. So do it.
Yeah, you
Click the
you don't have to have a
do
webcam
it.
on, you know. Um, what the hell was I saying? Right. So the right doesn't really have institutional influence, at least within Canada. And even in the United States, you've seen all the money that goes pouring in, the George Soros Foundation, all of these organizations, USAID, and you think that Canada doesn't do the same thing to try and foment or manufacture consent? Of course they do. Of course, your tax dollars fund to actually go against the normal person's best interests. Of course they do. The
Right,
government
JL.
used
I
COVID.
literally, oh, sorry.
The government literally used COVID as a testing exercise to see how well people comply, whether how well the propaganda worked.
Yes, and that was literally something said out of the mouths of government people. This isn't just some tinfoil hat. Oh, you're saying nay, nay. Literally said out of their mouths.
Yeah. So I wonder if, because after COVID, like I've said before, there was the whole scare of monkeypox. It's AIDS 2.0, and you've seen how fast that fell out of the news cycle. People
Stop
just said we're
fucking
done.
monkeys.
Yeah, well, that's how AIDS started the first time.
Leave the
So
animals alone.
yeah, so all right, so I see JL there. Well, I don't. Oh,
Oh shit.
they need to connect their mic or cam before you can add them to the stream. So you'll have to if you're using, like, if you're in a Discord or something right now, or if something's using a microphone, you'll have to disconnect that, and then you can leave and rejoin, and it should fix it. So um yeah, so this is what the right's up against. So when the guy says that this is 100% grassroots, yeah, everything on the right is 100% grassroots. There's no institutional backing. None. All of this stuff. Like, okay, here, the No Kings thing was literally funded by Walmart, was funded by the Rockefellers, was funded by all of these the Ford organization, Warren Buffett, like all of these massive organizations
Oh,
funded the No Kings protest.
really?
So,
All
yeah,
all the whatever you want to call it, the elite.
yeah.
They're the ones that literally okay. Okay.
Here, we'll get JL up here. All right, JL, hopefully you look decent.
Hi.
What's going
How
on,
you
JL?
guys doing? Can you hear me?
Yes,
Can
we
hear you
can.
Awesome.
great.
No, I'm actually glad to see so many people talking about issues like this because Canada's not alone in what's going on in the fight for democracy. It's I don't know how much attention you guys are paying right now, but we're feeling it really bad down here in the United States. So, my advice to people is use your voice. I come from a military family, and I don't know about Canada, but in the United States, there's so many people that think that either their vote doesn't count, or once they vote, that that's where their responsibility to checking the government stops.
Hmm.
It doesn't stop there. Your responsibility to the sacrifice that so many people have given to your country to make it what it is doesn't stop ever. As long as you're breathing, as long as you have the ability to speak or write or whatever, you know, you've got to say something if you feel strongly enough about it. And if you don't, then just don't. If you're going to complain and just complain to complain, what's the point?
So, what are your? I guess we see a lot within the United States that a lot of people have kind of soured on Trump because of some of the policies, especially with the H-1B visa being reinstituted, or I shouldn't say reinstituted, but basically having Chinese people in his comments that America has no skilled labor. So we have to import people. And I've seen a lot of people are voicing their opinions that that was a really dumb move and basically Trump through the midterms. What are your thoughts on that?
My thoughts about the midterm, I think that Trump's going to lose the midterms and he knows it. I think that there's a lot more skilled labor in the United States than uh, they want people to know, because I mean, we have uh, tech schools, like schools designed to teach people trades like
Mhm.
welders and all of that everywhere. Every city that's got some kind of college also usually has. We have two here in South Central Kentucky. Uh, one's in Logan County, one's here where I live in Bowling Green. So you can't tell me that there's no skilled labor. That's a fallacy. A lot of people are starting to go back into it because it's cheaper and a quicker turnaround than going to a 2 or 4 year college. Not
Well,
to
and I
mention, there are a lot of people that have gone to a 2 or 4 year college that have gone back to go to a trade school because they've got degrees that they cannot use. Because
Mhm.
our country, I don't know about Canada, but the United States is so saturated with people with associates and bachelor's degrees that a lot of people with those degrees are now working places like Walmart.
Yeah, and the big joke that I always make is the biggest employer of philosophy degree majors is Starbucks.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Starbucks.
I
uh-huh.
have two questions. So, one, why do they call it the midterms when it's literally only November? This isn't midway through his term.
it literally
It is.
is.
It did
How?
every
He
two
just
years.
started.
It's every 2 years.
It's every
2
2 years.
years.
So the vote this year is for his second year running. When he was elected, he started last year, technically.
Oh, that's stupid.
Hmm.
Okay, anyway.
Well,
It's
no,
every the
it's
presidency
senators
is
are every 2 years, right?
yeah.
Senators are 2
In
years.
Congress is every 2 years.
Congress, yeah.
Now, okay, so
Hmm.
this is going to go above board. I obviously do not have much knowledge about Canadian Parliament, but I do have something to say about leadership.
Mhm.
Okay, both of our countries have a very distinct party system. Both are very divided right now. All right, maybe the United States more than Canada. I don't know. What I do
Definitely,
know,
yep.
what I do know is that once you're in office, your party should go right out the window. It should be about the people. You are there working for the people, not your party. If you can't get that through your heads, then you don't need to be in a position of leadership. It is not a right. It is an honor. It is it is an honor, a privilege, and a very big responsibility and obligation once you're in,
Mhm.
that people have literally shed their blood. My dad died in August of pancreatic cancer due to the burn pits in Iraq. People have
sorry.
died to make our countries what they are.
Yeah.
And don't spit in their faces, please. If you're going to lead, then fucking lead. Pardon my French.
No, I 100% agree. Um, well, how I look at our parliament is they are the lowest form of our society. They are they're below a garbage man. They are below a a ditch digger. They are not the highest of us. They are the worst of us. I would take
Because of
I-
their entitled attitude.
exactly, exactly.
Which, by the way, I don't know about. Another thing that I don't know about Canada. When did you guys see these? Watch the shutdown at all here in the United States?
Yep.
Okay, so when that was happening, all the appointed workers and all the people voting. Uh, oh,
Fucking carry on. It's Kim. It's Kim. Don't worry.
thank you, Kim. I love you. Um, no, but when oh God, you made me lose my train of thought, hun. What the hell?
Sorry.
I'm so sorry. This is what happens when you have two people in control.
So
Okay.
I was talking about how like our
Oh
government is
yeah,
kind of like
yeah,
the
yeah.
lowest form of
I
us.
was
Yeah.
talking about the shutdown.
Yes.
And I have to agree with you. I would love to have a moment where somebody got into amongst the regular people got into our Congress just to say, hey, if you're going to be paid during this shutdown, while all the other people that are also government employees and weren't elected officials
Hmm.
aren't getting paid, you need to do your jobs. I
Hmm.
don't care what that looks like. You need to do your jobs and get the government back open, whatever that takes.
You now work for free. This was a decision you made. You now go to work for free because that's how you decided to do this.
Boom.
So,
Except that in our case, in the United States, uh, even if the government is shut down, the people sitting in those seats in Congress are still getting paid. The
mhm.
president is still getting paid. The justices are still getting paid. The military's not. The Joint Chiefs, they're not. But all the elected officials are still getting paid when you've got people overseas in our military serving our country, protecting our country, going without a paycheck.
Yep.
Why? That's so fucking wrong.
Yeah, and I've floated the idea that wouldn't it be fantastic? So, even with your say congressmen or congresswomen, congresspeople, whatever, congressers, um, if their salary was directly tied to the average salary of their constituents, imagine the fire under those people's asses to get industry there, to get anything, to improve the standard of living.
Which,
Imagine that.
yeah. And by the way, if there's any other Kentuckians in I'm originally from Oregon, just so you know, but I live in Kentucky now, and I have to hand a great shout out to our governor here in Kentucky because if you watched Camilla Harris's campaign, her first pick was actually our government. One of the nods went to the governor of Kentucky, and he said, "No, I have."
Face
He said,
fucking
Burn.
"No," he said, "I have too much work to do in Kentucky." Because he was left a mess, and he's had a mess. He's had tornadoes. He's had the pandemic. He's had a mess from his predecessor. He's had all this stuff going on, floods. Yeah, the Eastern Kentucky had so many floods in the last couple of years. It's not funny. He's had messes to clean up, roads to build. He's bringing in more industry into the area than has been seen in years. So leadership, that's what that looks like. And I learned my philosophy on leadership from my grandfather, my mom's dad. I've talked to Vagine and the people in Mech Warriors online about about him a few
That's right.
times.
I'm a nerd, people. I like my video games.
You'll know her if you play that game. You will know her. She stands out. But anyway, that's a total side note. Um.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, he served 26 years in the Air Force of the United States. At the end, he was working on the B-52s, the big
Little
bombers.
Stratofortress, baby.
And his motto was, if you're in leadership, you never ask people to do things you're not willing to do yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So he would go in an hour before he was actually scheduled for duty to do his paperwork and line everything up, be out there on the floor working with his men, and leave an hour or 2 hours after they left to wind everything down.
Well,
That's
you
how
set
he
the
operated.
example.
He's
Yeah.
Sounds like a hard
exactly.
worker.
And well, you don't see that ethic as much anymore. You saw it from Reagan, people, presidents like Reagan. I love what Reagan said when he was leaving office in his last term about how the United States is made great by our diversity, by immigration, by people coming in and injecting new ideas. I know it's that way in Canada. You guys have some of the biggest diversity in the planet.
Right.
But just like anything, donuts are delicious, but if breakfast, lunch, and supper are it's a problem. It becomes a problem. And
I'll
what
agree.
we have going on in Canada is it's one thing to I want to go to this place because I believe in their ideals, I believe in their culture, whatever makes you that thing. If you want to be
Right.
Canadian or American. But what we have going on within Canada, and you very much seen during the well, I shouldn't say the peak, it's because I don't think we've seen necessarily the tippy top of the mountain with regards to ice when you seen in LA or in California where people were flying Mexican flags saying this is Mexico, this isn't the United States. And we've seen the same thing. We see the same things going on within Canada where we bring people over who say, I am not Canadian. I don't want to be Canadian. I have no
Then you
interest
don't
in
need to be here.
assimilation.
Then you don't need to be
Exactly.
here.
Then
No,
So
I
I
agree with
rightfully
that.
yeah.
so.
I agree with that. So here's here's where I stand on that because again, I
Okay.
come from the West Coast. Sorry, frog in the throat. I I lived on the West Coast. I lived there till 2012. I was 30 years old when I left, and there were probably a lot of undocumented Hispanic workers all over the place that came because they couldn't handle their country anymore, and they were dedicated to ours, and they worked their tails off. They never commit crimes. They're constructive members of society doing a lot of jobs that we, as you know, native born Americans, people, members of the United States, because I mean, Canada's America too, but uh, just don't want to do because for a lot of us, it's seen as beneath us. We're worth more than that. And I think that's a fallacy. It if you work a job and it puts food on your table, there's pride in that, or at least there should be.
Agreed.
And
There
I
absolutely should be.
as far as leadership goes, if you're in there because you're a politician, you're in there for the wrong reason. As you should always be a public servant first and a politician second. And we've lost sight of that. I mean, Jimmy Carter was that way. JFK was a brilliant politician, but he was a public servant first. Uh,
I would agree with that.
Bush Senior, I'm not really sure about Junior. Obama, all of these people, Senator John McCain, these are people that I have great respect for because of their attitudes toward the democratic uh, process, which was the Constitution is what we live, breathe, die for. The U.S.
I agree.
Constitution is the goal.
But
The
Obama,
people are the goal. Well, I'm not going to say that Obama, as much as I respect Obama, he didn't obviously get everything right. But
I
at the
think
same,
he was an absolute I think he was the death knell for your country.
eh, I think
He
I
he
think
pushed
that
for racist policies. He on him, he pushed the woke agenda that has now plagued the West. It is under him. His nickname, it was either Deporter in Chief or Obama. He literally blew up Americans, and
Uh,
I think he
yes,
sold you guys out.
I won't say. The only reason, the one big reason that I have respect for him is because he made no bones about what it was when he was running. That if it worked, if it happened, if he was in, it was because of the people. It wasn't about him. And when he was in office, he did what he believed was best for the country. You cannot, disrespect that conviction. And a lot of what people say that was on him was what was allowed to be. But that's the thing about the United States that people even in this country seem to forget. Like take Obamacare for example. All right,
Yeah, a
the
lot of
the
people
affordable.
hated it.
Well, yes, he did too. Believe it or not, uh, because it wasn't what he originally proposed. It was what Congress allowed to go through.
Hmm.
A lot of what our presidents propose gets dumbed down to the point where it's either let it go through, let them ratify it because it's a building block, a stepping stone to something better, or have nothing. And that's where Obamacare came in.
I think that's where the big distinction is. So like in Canada, of course, we have socialized healthcare as we were talking about earlier. It's it's
Yeah.
a it's a logistical, efficiency and quality nightmare. We have people that literally die just waiting to see a doctor because our system is so overwhelmed and so
Right?
inefficient.
Well,
Doctors
people who
literally my doctor, she was awesome. I loved my doctor. She was fucking fantastic. But she said, "I'm going to the United States because there I can actually make money. Here I don't make it. I make no money."
which is
Yeah.
fair, but I mean, like, if you even look up in, I mean, and this might be the same in other places too, but if you look up in Winnipeg Health Science Center, we have people dying in our freaking waiting rooms.
It happens all over the place. And when you are
It's
no
so
longer
gross.
valuable,
Well, and then you have people like me. I'm afraid to go to the doctor because I have to pay out of pocket. You know, uh, I'm 43 years old. I make less than 2,000 a month. The current cheapest plan on the Affordable Health Care Act that's available to me is only $100 less than my car payment. $250.
Ay, Dios mío.
Yeah,
mhm,
I can't afford that. I can't do it. So if I get sick, it's either urgent care, which is $100 base pay. I mean, you just walk in the door and be seen is $100 at most urgent care facilities, clinics, or the emergency room, $2,000 bill minimum,
Oof.
or oh yeah, that's U.S. dollars, folks, not Canadian. It's a hefty sum. two
yep,
thousand dollars. I can buy a used car for that. That's a clunker, but it'll get me from point A to point B.
See,
So I
and
mean,
that's
you guys, I think with your healthcare system, it's a matter of fine tuning it for what makes sense today, not necessarily disassembling that system. Because I mean, yes, you have people dying in the waiting room. But here's the thing, you have people dying in the waiting rooms here in the United States at a bigger rate than in Canada, believe it or not. My family comes from a healthcare. My dad worked as a surgical tech in a hospital in Washington State for most of his life. And I can tell you that it's not just Canada. That's not your healthcare system that's the culprit. It's the lack of staff. It's more an administration issue.
Well, and I think
Yeah.
so like in Canada there's been a lot of discussion
Backstaging.
and we could talk about even getting deeper with the United States because it's a single payer system under the Medicare or Obamacare, whatever you want to call it. Um that
Affordable Health Care Act is the
yeah.
actual title of it. Yeah.
So when and okay, when we seen in the United States when all of a sudden university and college tuition skyrocketed, it was when Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac became, those loans are no
Around
longer, you know
2010, 11. Yeah.
yeah. So once those loans became, well, the government, okay, well then we just increase our prices. So here's a perfect example. So on my semis, I have a thing. It's an APU. It's an auxiliary power unit. It's a generator that
Mhm.
basically,
Yeah.
moves
And
the
for
fluid and
folks
everything.
that, just a sidebar here, for anybody that has been on an aircraft, and that's most of us, if you're on a jet aircraft and you hear that, you're at the gate and you hear that whine spool up at the back of the plane when you board, that is the plane's auxiliary power unit. That
Yeah.
is so that they can disconnect.
Whoa,
Which
diesel
you're
fuel.
talking about is the same thing. You have an auxiliary diesel generator
Mhm.
behind your sleeper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one thing is all they did was the system used to cost significantly less. Well, then the government instituted this green whatever rebate program, which literally doubled the price. Literally doubled the price. So instead of the
Oh,
system costing
you're talking about the diesel emissions cleaners.
yeah, so this the whole DPF or DPF, sorry, the APU system used to cost it was like about maybe $10,000. Well, once this green efficiency program came into place, it literally doubled. It's now $22,000 to have that same equipment installed, but you get a 50% rebate. So you've seen that same thing happen balloon with the healthcare system. I've seen many people have talked about in healthcare that your bill is $20,000, but then you say, "Well, I don't have insurance." It's like, "Oh, okay, well, it's actually four."
Yeah,
It's like, well,
that they do that.
the
Well,
inflated
and
price is because the
yeah.
insurance and because of all this stuff, the
Yeah.
single payer. The government will just fund it, so who cares?
Well, and I will say because Bowling Green, believe it or not, is big enough that it has two hospitals. It has the medical center, which is the premier local, what do you call it? Level one trauma center
Mhm.
in the area. Okay. You have the medical center, and then you have Vanderbilt, which is in Nashville, about an hour south of us. So you have that. And then you have Greenview TriStar, which is privately operated. Right. And you go to the emergency room at medical center. I know this because I've had it happen, and you can wait for 40 minutes. I went in once with breathing issues due to severe mold exposure, black mold on the job site. I
That's
waited
the
for
best.
I waited for 40 minutes before I was even triaged. And then I waited
That's
almost
not
an
bad.
hour before. Huh?
Sorry.
No,
I it just said coming from me, who it's not bad. Like that to
but
me, that doesn't sound bad. Carry on though.
well, for the standard in the United States, an emergency room when you walk in and you can't hardly breathe and you don't even get triaged for 40 minutes. Triaged, not taken back.
Mhm.
Triaged so that they can see, okay, how serious is this? Is this really life threatening? And usually anything respiratory, neurological, or pulmonary, cardiac, boom, you're supposed to be taken straight back. I don't know how that works
Yeah.
in Canadian hospitals, but that's the way it's supposed
Supposed
to
to be the
be.
same.
Okay.
Yeah, supposed to be.
So I left there and I went to the other hospital. And yes, I have a $2,000 bill from that visit, but I went in and I was in and out in an hour with an inhaler in hand. There's a
Jeez.
big difference. Well, no, and what people don't realize is It's not necessarily the healthcare system that's at fault. It's not the doctors and nurses' fault. All right. Don't blame the doctors and nurses and the on site administrative staff, especially at night. All right.
So here,
It is
I'll
the
I'll assuage you right
overall,
now.
it is the,
Recent
sorry.
emergency wait times as high as 22 hours. The
Oh my
average
God.
time is 2.5, with 50% more than that. A half of
Where the hell
patients
is
with
that?
that's in Canada.
Oh my God, honey.
Yes. So when
That's what
it's
we're
like
saying.
40 minutes. Yeah, like 22 hours is the highest, nearly 3 times the recommended target. Half of patients with non-urgent issues are in and out of Canadian departments within 2.5 hours. Patients who are more severely ill, 50% are done their visit in 4 hours, while some go home within 10. But up to 22 hours, we've seen people as long as 48.
Is
People
that
have
major
literally
cities or nationwide?
That's nationwide.
It's
Oh my
nationwide.
God.
The sad
Here,
thing is
here's
the
this.
last time I had to go to the hospital, okay, maybe not the last time, but the last time I had to go to the city hospital, I was literally in the waiting room for 15 hours.
Now, I will say that places like that, there are places in New York and Pittsburgh that have similar issues. You can wait
Mhm.
an entire day in, like, Mercy Hospital is actually one of the big ones there in New York's Manhattan, and they have that issue because it's gunshot central. The ambulances, people coming in on ambulances, get seen before people in the waiting room because they're critical. So again, it's a matter of criticality also, but it also is at the top in the administration, people sitting in their offices deciding what the policies are at that hospital. Those are the people that decide staffing, funding, equipment, maintenance. Every little bit of what happens in that facility is decided by people that are hardly ever on the floor.
I
Yep.
completely agree
So
with that. I think I've
So
mentioned this before that I think
while we're talking about this, I coming from a medical family on both my parents, I feel the need to give a major shout out to our healthcare professionals who do their absolute best with what they're given to make sure that they save as many lives as they possibly can. I don't think they
I
get
agree.
that. I don't think that they or the paramedics or anybody else working as first responders get enough thanks for what they do, because it's not an easy thing to do.
I agree. So JL, is there anything else? We are gonna have to move on, but is there anything
What are
else?
we moving on to? What are you guys moving on to? That's my next question.
Ooh. Um,
Do I want to know?
it could
I
be a bit
don't
of a
know.
surprise.
There's
It
two
could
things.
be,
There's two things I have coming up.
yeah. So, is there anything else you wanted to share, or
I mean, just again, uh, whether you're Canadian or you're a citizen of the United States, vote. You cannot complain about
vote
the way things
right?
are going. Yeah,
No,
well, vote.
vote for Trump. Vote right. Don't vote for the liberals. Don't vote for the Democrats. If you are trying to vote for the Democrats, in fact, we should probably break your legs, or at least you should stub your toe repeatedly.
No, the way I put it,
Me too.
I've been paying attention across the board in the United States more than in any other country. It's neither side is more responsible than the other for the mess we're in. It's both sides. Okay, vote your conscience, not the party line.
Party line.
Be an American first. Vote what you feel is right, and
I
then once you have voted, continuously use your voice if you are able to keep them in check.
I would agree to an
I
extent.
definitely agree with that. I think that people should be voting for whoever it is that speaks to them at the election time. I
Nah,
don't think that.
And do
No, no,
well.
yeah,
no,
we
no,
vote
no,
Do
no.
right.
and the only way
No.
you're going to do that is do your research on the person that you're voting for.
Well,
I'll
yes,
give you I'll give you
but
an example. In 2000, I was actually a registered Republican, but I voted for Gore because I did not believe in what the incoming Trump or Trump, Jesus, uh, Bush Jr. had planned for the state of Oregon. And back then, it was okay to do that. It was okay to do that because we could agree to disagree and we would find compromise.
Yeah, but we're not there anymore. And like the Democrats have literally pushed communism. They've pushed you know, transitioning children. Been pushing for more and more, and
Not
you
all.
know, there's
I will say that if uh Governor Andy Bashir ever ran for president of the United States and he is Democratic, I would vote for him because he says we're not pushing for it. It's up to the parents, and either the parents say yes or you wait till you're 18 and
but
then
he
you
would
can
be
say it.
booted out. His view is now right wing. He would be booted out of the Democrat, like the major, like
He's
for
very
president.
LGBTQ, very diversified. His point of view is trying to make it work across that he's the kind of person that you want in the presidency because he's trying to look at it from all sides, being responsible for everyone. So
I think in a calmer time that would be fantastic, and that's very much like old school. 1% difference in terms of taxes was pretty much the dividing line between the right and the left. But I think the left has moved so far left that his position, even if he says, "Hey, you know what? I support LGBTQ." Yeah, so did Trump, and they look at how they try to, decided to treat him, that he was a fascist, an insurrectionist, and he actually, in fact, he should be killed, in from their
transphobe,
view.
homophobe.
okay,
So,
that we should also say political violence is not okay.
I mean,
I
Period.
agree.
it's, the, the fact that that has to be said
It's
shows
scary.
where it
It's
is.
scary.
Shows where it is.
It's scary. I agree, but it needs to be said. Political violence, not okay. We are democratic society. We are not Cuba. I'm sorry,
See,
no disrespect to Cuba, but
I
Beautiful
don't
country.
disagree with that necessarily, because if someone has gone completely off the rails and they have, decided to take over the government, I think it's incumbent upon the citizenry to stop that person by any means necessary.
I agree. But I also have to say uh, something that I also learned from both my dad and my grandfather. The definition of victory is a matter of numbers. It's a matter of which side achieves their goals by the least amount of bloodshed necessary. Nobody really wins in a war. War is always the last result. So political violence, don't go there if you don't have to.
I would agree with that. I think in the spirit of it, but yeah. So we are going to move on, JL. So I really appreciate you coming on, and it was awesome to hear from you. And we'll
Yes, it was.
we will talk again soon for sure.
Behave yourselves, Jeannie.
Never.
Six
Never.
nine. By the
Never.
way, anybody that's wondering, that is her in-game name, Jeannie. Well, that's what we call her
The Gene Machine is my game name. Yeah.
anyway.
And I got a 69 tramped on every ass of my freaking robot mechs. Yep, I do. That's how I roll.
Nerd. All
Hey,
right.
100%.
you are too. I've seen you play that game too, so stop.
Well, thank you very much, JL. It was much liked having you up, and yeah, like I said, again, we'll talk again soon.
Okie
Yes,
Thank you very
dokie.
thank you so
much.
much for coming on.
I'll get off my soapbox now.
Mwah.
See you later.
Bye.
Love ya. Bye.
All
So
right.
before you play what you have there, I think because we're talking about political stuff, we should go first to the other video that I have.
Well,
I'll play that one.
this is a little old news.
Which one? The one
The
that
one that
I was
you
gonna
have.
play?
Yeah,
It is?
this
Like
yes.
how old? Oh, 11 weeks
Like
ago.
2 months old.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I just heard
So,
about it today.
really? Yeah, no. Okay. Well, you know what?
Hilarious.
It's fine. We'll yank it
Really
up
awkward.
here. But so for those that don't know, the AFD party, which Christine Anderson, who has been super freaking based, they nearly won in their last election. They've been gaining a lot of support. Nationalism and right-leaning parties have been making massive headways, and this is why I think what you see going on within the United States, going on within Canada, going on within Europe, the protests, everything that we see going on is a response. The right is the reactionary, the left is the revolution. So the right is trying to maintain, as with the whole idea, well, the right and left comes from the French Revolution. The right wanted to maintain their culture, wanted to maintain the parliamentary system that they had at the time, and the left was the revolutionaries. So that's where we get the idea of the right and left. So the right are trying to preserve or conserve culture, parliament, or our parliamentary systems, our institutions. The left is the revolutionaries. So this is why the right is always playing defense. This is why we are always reacting to the left. We are not pushing things because we just try and want to maintain the way of life rather than revolutionize it. So the AFD had two of their members of parliament. Isn't and I guess you could play it, but isn't that Mark? Yeah, I
That's
would
not
say
helpful.
yeah, GT says AFD is more libertarian than anything. I think libertarians have kind of like they've had their ideology kind of hit a proverbial wall where they've learned that, yeah, as much as we don't want to, I don't want to be aggressive, I don't want to attack, the whole non-aggression principle and all these types of things. um I think where I think they're really starting to realize that in order for your ideology to win, you can't really be a pacifist. You have to either fight for it, or people are just more capable people, more persuasive, and in fact, even people who are willing to use violence, they will say, "Hey, believe it or else. Believe it or else."
Right. Right. What do you mean,
So,
Mark? Mark who?
is
It
that
looks
Mark
like the
Nixon?
point. No, it looks like Sam Bamford is his name.
He looks just like Mark Nixon. Holy shit. Okay.
Don't know who that is, but
We know who you know who Mark is. Just I know you
okay.
maybe you haven't seen him, but yeah. So and that's why I think the AFD, like, we are seeing nationalists rising, and because there is, I think the libertarian utopia is just that. I think it's not that much further away than the communist utopia. It's as long as everyone thought like me, then we wouldn't need to attack people. I don't need to attack people to convince people of my thoughts until someone punches you in the face, rips your tongue out, and puts a gun against your head. Then what? Well, at least I wasn't aggressive, but
Mark Nixon is blonde and has glasses.
no. Is he?
I don't know. The one I'm looking at is. I don't
No.
know. There's too many of them.
No. Mark Nixon is a handsome son of a bitch. Ugh. It actually
I
disgusts me
don't
how
know.
handsome he is.
None
I'll
of
I'll
these
put
people that I'm looking at are good looking in the slightest. So
no, no, there you go. Go look at your
I'm gonna have
Discord.
to my dick sword.
Yeah.
Hold on.
All right, so play this. You could play this.
Hold on. You just told me to look at my dick sword.
Oh.
Oh, that is definitely not who I was seeing. I could see the comparison though. He's a handsome
Yeah.
devil.
I know, Mark, you son of a bitch. You and
All
your
right, let's play this.
chiseled good
Play the
looks.
shit.
report on things that don't involve Australia, but what's happening in Germany right now is unreal. And statistically, it's impossible. In just 13 days, 7 candidates from the AfD party have suddenly died, right before crucial local elections. 7 candidates, the same party, same state, same elections. Authorities are calling it a coincidence, but let's be real. The circumstances and timing is wild. So a lot of people might say, who are the AfD? Well, let me explain it to you. They're Germany's right-wing populist party, kind of like if Pauline Hanson's One Nation party had the influence of the Nationals. And they have risen and grown fast because Germany's people are sick of mass immigration, unaffordable housing, rising crime, and a government obsessed with green targets whilst the economy collapses. Does that sound familiar? Now, I'm not saying there's foul play here, but think about the odds. 7 politicians, the same party, dying within 2 weeks of each other, just before voters head to the polls. That's not politics as usual. That's the kind of thing you'd expect to see in a Netflix thriller, not Europe's biggest economy. And here's the state of Germany today. Mass immigration pouring in, crime and unrest is on the rise, the cost of living is climbing, and a government more worried about silencing free speech and protecting its own people. And the AfD, like them or not, they represent the fraction of Germany that have said enough is enough. And yet, right before crucial elections, one by one, their candidates are dying. Coincidence? Maybe, and that's what the authorities are saying. But just take a step back and look at the bigger picture. Mass immigration, a broken economy, and political opponents dropping dead before the election. And history shows us that's exactly the kind of environment where instability, extremism take hold. This report actually makes me worried. Statistically, this can't happen. Oh, and just on a lighter note, check out Dan Andrews rubbing shoulders with the Supreme Leader, Kim Jong-un. Sometimes I think to myself, are we living in a simulation? And then I get sent photos like this. Maybe we are. What's your thoughts? Now, I don't know.
Oh,
No,
shit.
they remember they shot and killed Charlie Kirk, the moderate. And look at the turmoil the right has been in ever since. It
Oh my
has
God.
been people, the vacuum that was left behind by Charlie Kirk has sent ripples across the world, has actually shown how the left is willing to use and employ violence. This is why libertarianism in theory is great. But in
Well,
practice, it's just
you can literally see how much he held back the extreme far right. Like, do you know what I mean?
I think so many people are just done with getting punched in the face repeatedly. And now when they actually respond, Jimmy Kimmel goes out and starts crying. This is why,
so pathetic.
So
pathetic.
People don't really understand that right-wing populist is literally about smaller government, is about a national identity, that our culture, that our customs, that are these things are important. I don't think there's a liberal that could really defend, none of them could, that all cultures are equal. They can't. They literally cannot hold that position, even though they claim that they do. But when actually put in practice, they can't. This is why when you hear the liberals talking about the genocide that happened within Canada, the extermination that was going on here, I propose this type of scenario. So us, a technologically superior country, finds out or discovers a nation where they are mutilating little children. They are doing the most abhorrent things to them. Cutting off their genitalia, they're essaying them, they're doing terrible, terrible things to these children. Would it be incumbent upon us as a moral and ethical people to stop that? Or do we say all cultures are equal, theirs is just as valid as ours? Or do we go in there and start cracking skulls? I think it would be incumbent upon us with a moral and ethical framework to step in. We would have a duty, an obligation to stop that horrific action from taking place. So that is the narrative that the left pushes that these evil white men came on boats and genocided a whole culture. They destroyed the native people here. Until you maybe look at their perspective, they came ashore to these people slaughtering each other, scalping each other, cutting each other's heads off, brutalizing the men, killing the men, essaying the women, and killing the children, or enslaving and indoctrinating the children. That's what they were doing. So, does it sound that far fetched to now take the position of, I have a moral obligation to stop this suffering by any means necessary, even if it means up to and including killing you, in order for the harm to stop? This is the narrative that gets pushed. This is why the populist kind of populist right movement is about trying to hold down the culture, ensuring that there's a pillar, that there's foundations that our culture is built upon. And those are vitally important to maintain. And if people come here and we've been all too accommodating, that we've actually not only have we removed our foundation, we have given jackhammers and spaded shovels to people that say your culture and the foundations that your culture is built upon should be destroyed. Gad Sad calls it the suicidal empathy, and we've embraced it wholeheartedly. I love it when I'm right.
I think it was in Australia as well that they were.
And can I say, so that guy, that Sam dude, what is with all these hunky, good-looking men? Jake the Rattlesnake. I don't know if you guys ever heard of Jake the Rattlesnake. He's from Australia. Another hunky, like what is going on? Brought on by the
Australia's got some good-looking
parasitized
dudes.
Did you look up Jake the Rattlesnake?
No, I have not.
Not the wrestler, not the wrestler.
That's Jake the Snake.
Yeah, Jake the Snake. Sorry, what did I say? Jake Rattlesnake. Jake Rattlesnake. Handsome. God damn it. Oh, it makes me angry.
Or is it Rattlesnake Jake?
Jake.
Hold on.
Might be that.
No.
They sound
definitely
funny.
Not.
Here, I got him.
I am just seeing snakes.
No, I got you.
A bunch of snakes.
Come on. Ugh, bloody thing.
I didn't even remember what I was going to say because you keep interrupting me.
There.
Oh, what the fuck?
Another handsome.
It's nowhere near what I was seeing. Indeed.
Pisses me off.
Jam chiseled men.
I know. God damn it,
but anyway, so there was I was watching that same Australian guy, some of his other stuff. And there was another thing where they were literally showing there was a whole bunch of Muslims that were gathered outside of like the biggest church, like Catholic or Christian church, whatever, in this place in Australia, like literally the biggest. And there were so many of them. And he was saying that like before people do a march or a parade or whatever it is that you're going to do, they have to give it to the officials, like the government officials, with a route plan and stuff like that, showing them all these things for it to be approved. So he's like, they literally seen that one of their stops was at this church and they decided to completely disregard it and allow them. There was thousands of Muslim people that gathered outside this and started like doing their religious thing outside of the church. And he's like, and he made a good point, and it was literally a point that I've made before. If roles are reversed, if there was a bunch of Catholics or Christians, whatever it was, that decided to go outside of a mosque and do this, holy shit, there'd be arrests, there would be riots, it would be the worst thing in the entire world. It'd be racist and this and that. But yet, when it's on the other hand, they don't even dare say, maybe we should pick a different route
No,
to
it's
avoid there being an
intentional.
issue. It's
No,
just like,
it's intentional.
okay.
The whole reason is to make sure that people are aware that we are here. It's an intimidation tactic. Look at, we're here. We're at your temples. We're here to burn them down. That's what it is.
No, I know it's intentional on their part. I'm talking about the government who approved it.
Well,
Now I'm going to assume that, I mean, I could be wrong. I'm going to assume that there's people in the government that aren't all Muslim. So
no,
clearly that has more to do with well, I don't want to say anything because then someone's going to say that I'm an Israelophobe. So I'm just going to allow it to happen. And I mean, if our citizens feel uncomfortable, whatever, they'll get over it. But we don't want to offend these other people. It's always placating to somebody else other than your own citizens, which is just, it mind boggles me.
so I'm just kind of an aside, but I'm noticing on YouTube we're stuck in vertical form, and I don't know why.
It should be in both.
I don't know why
YouTube is
it's
the only place that literally allows you to do both vertical or
okay.
landscape.
I don't know how to change that, but
Did someone
okay.
say that?
No, I'm literally looking at it right now. It's just I'm noticing that it's in vertical. I don't know how to
Are you looking at it on your phone or on the computer? Because
on
there
the
should
computer.
YouTube is literally the only one that gives me the option. Everywhere else I've put vertical because you can only have one or the other, where YouTube allows both.
Oh, well.
That's weird. Anyway,
All right.
it's Marxism. There's only the oppressed and the oppressor. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's how their whole view is. So the left sees themselves, and Australia has a very liberalized government, just as we do, just as Germany has, because they've lived under the shadow of small funny mustache man, and they've destroyed themselves in order to not look like that. So any opportunity that someone to beat down, bash, and denigrate Germany. Yeah, of course. We make jokes, the only country to start 2 world wars. Like, here we go. Obviously it's a joke, but they literally see that as a point of shame that they cannot get out from
Yeah.
under that shadow. No matter
Yeah,
what
I know.
happens in Germany, even though, as he said, the European powerhouse, Germany, still these people, after getting their asses beat twice in a row, 0-2 losers, they still beat the world in manufacturing, in quality, and everything. But they have this shadow that, well, we better not be too good, because then what happens? I don't know. Maybe they just start getting a little like, should we take over the world again? Like,
I mean,
because everyone's willing to bash them, and they don't even want the specter, just a whiff, a little is that Nazism I smell here? It's like,
well, and I mean, that goes with one of my best friends, that she literally is from Germany, and like, you make any sort of comparisons between her and the funny mustache man or whatever it may be, like, it's highly offensive. Like, it's not like German people want to have any sort of association with that. And it's been so long that it's just like you literally have that mentality of just, oh my God, get over it, people. Like, that's not who we are. Can we move on?
we,
I
us
feel bad
in the
about that.
West, we need a unified front. We need our allies. We need our friends. I don't want to see our culture getting destroyed. I don't want to see our countries destroyed because something bad happened 200 years ago. This is why their whole push with, even though there's no bodies in Kamloops, they want to criminalize it. They literally want to criminalize thought. They want to criminalize your ability to critically think or actually even question a narrative. I don't like, okay, when people, there's like the Holocaust deniers, like, okay, and it's like, yeah, but there's like 0.1% of the population that thinks that. They think that and they're trying to proliferate. It's like, yeah, but 99.9% of the population doesn't. I'm a lot more concerned if the 99% said, hey, you know what? We should do that again. I'd be a lot more concerned with that than the 0.01 who most people look at and go, okay, and carry on. So when we are not allowed to even question, you can't question. Are there 215 bodies underneath that Kamloops residential school? And then it's put into law that how dare you question that? In fact, you will be penalized, charged for having the audacity. For having the audacity, even though there's residential schools that have come out and said, no, there's not. Here's our records. We gave it to the Indian band and they hide the information. They only pick and choose what they get to release. Well, that don't seem like, as JT said, sound like being the best disinfectant. That sounds like they have a fantastic fucking parasol covering it.
Yep.
That's what it seems like. It seems like they get to pick and choose what information they decide to release.
It's not seems like, it literally is. When I did that episode, when I was solo mish on the truth and reconciliation, it literally stated in there that the whole, when you're talking about like the residential schools and stuff like that, it had to do with the reserves, the leaders of the reserves, the chiefs, whatever, got to pick and choose what information was submitted and or released.
Oh, exactly.
They had the
So this is why we now see what happens in Germany, what's happened in Canada, the repressive tolerance, the suicidal empathy, whatever you want to call it. We've removed we've been so tolerant that we'd have allowed people who do not share our culture, customs, etc. I know I sound like a broken record. Take a drink every time I say culture or customs. No, don't. You'll die. But because we see that happening more and more, and now the response, it's not that it happened. It's like if someone smashed into your car, it's like, okay, you know what? It happens. We'll exchange information and carry on. But then the person gets out and punches you in the face, and then you respond. And they go, well, why'd you hit the guy? It's like, smashed into me, punched me in the face, and then I finally responded.
Yeah. There's actually a girl that did
Yeah.
that yesterday. I pulled into,
to you?
okay. Well, hold on. Not that whole story. I didn't get punched. And I didn't punch her back.
Shut up.
But
Just out of principle.
I was literally at Save On Foods, and their whole like online ordering parking spots are not as well done as say Walmart or Superstore. It's just tiny little spots. So you like literally there's like one sign and people keep parking in there that aren't there for online ordering. So this person like parked in the one spot. I backed into the other, but there's not even enough room to open doors. So she had to open up her door and she was doing fine for a minute. Then all of a sudden I felt like a clonk. I'm like, so I rolled down my window. She just like looks at me. She's like, hi. Hi. I'm just trying to get my groceries in the car. Like, okay, neat. Like, fucking, your door hit the car. Well, yeah. There's not enough room. I'm like, you literally could have gone in the other freaking side. The other side. She was the end of the row.
Wait, so she hit her van and you didn't smash her?
Yeah.
I hate you.
Anyway, but it's like you were literally at the end of the row. She could have went on the other side, opened up that door. She could have had all the fucking room she wanted. She could have wiggled her ass around. Went to hit no one. But she came to in between the vehicles. And it's like, biatch, you didn't even park in the right spot. This is supposed to be for online orders. If you're in there doing shopping, what the fork are you doing parked here? Just saying. I agree. There should have been a fight.
Yeah, there should have been. There should have been. And there wasn't. Suicidal empathy. There you go. There you go. All right. I know we have one more, but we will have to save it for another time. We've already been going for 2 hours. I can't believe this time just absolutely flew by. So, but thank you for everyone for tuning in. All right, do your spiel.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for taking the time out of your day to come sit with us and listen to the craziness going on in the world today. Please hit the little subscribe, like, share us button, all that fun stuff. Get our voices out there. Help us get heard. And we are live every Monday, Wednesday at 8 p.m. Central and every Saturday at 1 p.m. Central. So, and you can find us in all the places listed in the description box below. We're literally everywhere. Otherwise,
Show.
aw,
Let's do this
thanks,
Scooby
JT.
Doo ending. Good call.